Give them
So
cookies.
the debate of the week basically is, as I said in the as I told you guys, it was LeBron's greatest rival, right? And the options are Paul Pierce, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, or you fill in the blank.
The Warriors.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors probably.
So you're gonna put a team in there, I guess, as opposed to an individual.
Wait. Okay, so LeBron's career has been so long. The fact that you can basically encapsulate it into a couple parts. You can say it was the Spurs. You can also say it was the Celtics. But primarily, if you're looking at the total body of work and you're looking at it really, really deeply, it's the Warriors as a team outside of KD. But yeah, KD does add the factor of him getting, the whole storyline.
Why would you include KD in there when he was on the Warriors?
No, like prior, like those first two finals prior to KD going, like you can already tell, like they were going to be neck and neck for years, even prior to.
Okay, so you're saying the Warriors, so it's not an individual. The Warriors are his biggest.
The Warriors are his biggest rival.
Kyle, for you.
Yeah, I think it's the Warriors, and like with the kid, I mean, they went to I got 4 straight finals together. Yeah, I mean, come on, it's obviously the Warriors. And again, I was going to say the exact same thing. LeBron has been on for so long, and he almost like didn't come out at the same time with somebody to really be his rival for his entire career, right? Because it was like his biggest comparison early was Kobe, and then Kevin Durant started to challenge him, and then Curry came onto the scene, and then Kevin Durant and Curry teamed up to beat the guy. Like, you'd have to say it's the Warriors. Unfortunately, they had such a good team. It was hard for him to really get back at them and really make it a good, great rivalry. But it was great enough to the fact that we saw them in 4 straight finals, and one of them was one of the better finals we had, at least in my lifetime.
Wouldn't a rivalry qualify a healthy balance between both teams winning? Is that fair to say in a rivalry when one team was more dominant? Like the Warriors kind of dominated, with the exception of 2016. Like, I don't consider a rivalry as a healthy balance. No, is that just me?
I mean, Kevin Durant wasn't the healthy balance. It was basically hired gun.
But you're saying the Warriors, though. Again, when you look at a rivalry,
necessary.
Ray Job, what are your thoughts here as far as LeBron's greatest rival? Is it fair to say it's the Warriors, or is it someone else? Is it someone individually?
But by that virtue, that you could say the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s were in a rivalry because the Lakers won more of their matchups between 85 and 87.
Right. But it was kind of like back and it
wasn't balanced.
I guess so. Ray, what do you think?
I think LeBron's biggest rival is headlines that are not positive, because he's worked his entire career to make sure that all the LeBron headlines are positive. And the minute it started to seem like he was falling off as far as what he was supposed to be in Cleveland, let's get to Miami and win some championships. Go back to Cleveland, I gotta finish the job because it was too easy, Miami. The headlines are starting to get shaky. The wheels are falling off in South Beach. Let's go back to Cleveland. You know what I mean? All right, now I've done what I was supposed to do. Let me go to LA. Let me get some more positive headlines and bring the Lakers back and fill Kobe's shoes as a superstar. Even during this time as the Lakers, for every loss, it's somebody else's fault. Tried to get Rob Pelinka fired last year because he wouldn't trade the picks. LeBron James and Stephen A. talked about this, and I don't really agree with much of anything that man ever has to say. But Stephen A. always says that LeBron James is a master of controlling the narrative, and his biggest rival has been narratives, because it has to be positive about LeBron James. It's not a player, because there is no one player. You could say maybe the Warriors, maybe the Spurs for a second. The closest thing we had was maybe the Celtics, but to me, I felt like because of that particular Game 7, I want to say it was 2008. When him and PP went at it.
Yeah, 45 and 41.
They've been trying to like drag that Celtics situation, but the fact of the matter is, once he got to Miami, there was no rivalry. It was over with. You know what I mean? So to me, it's headlines. LeBron's thing is, I want to control the narrative. When he got bumped out by Dwight Howard in 2009, he wore a shirt or a hat that said, "Look at my numbers." Again, controlling the narrative. I never forgot that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even remember that. That's a throwback.
Because it's like...
Ray took us back. Yo, Ray, you took us back, bro.
Not because I've always side-eyed him. Like, I know he's great. There's somebody in your chat right now talking about how great he is, writing in caps. It's not about his ability as a basketball player.
That's David Janvier. He's a big LeBron fan.
It's about the politician, the guy off the court. The Hollywood dude who always knows where the camera is, knows what to do and when to do it. That guy. The media, the narrative, that's his biggest rival.
You know,
That's a great way to put it. Mike.
That's
So
true.
I guess, Mike, do you have I guess the media, the narrative is another option on this test here of who's LeBron's biggest rival.
The option my man gave is the option I'm taking because that's it. As he ran through the list,
That
because
makes sense.
it
And
really
he didn't even
makes-
talk about the decision either. The decision was in that
Yeah, the
too.
decision.
But that's what he said. That's what Ray was saying. Like the
Yeah.
narrative started the shit because we all know I didn't remember that 09 because I was a LeBron fan then. So I was one of those people saying, look, he had 39, he averaged 39, 9, and 9.
Even think about his second trip in Cleveland, how he forced the GM's hand, and it created a story where the Cavaliers have exhausted all of their assets. So there's nothing for LeBron. There's nothing left for LeBron to do but to go to LA.
Not to
and set up
mention
his
David
kid's
Black
future.
got fired and they were #1 seed, right?
#1 seed and was in the finals.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, that's my answer. I didn't think that was going to be an answer, but I'm with Ray on that.
Yeah, originally I had said Paul Pierce, but Ray kind of changed my pick.
That's got to be the
That's
answer
honestly-
because to Ray's point though, in terms of on the court, if we look at it, all of his so-called rivals have most of them have a higher winning percentage against him. Steph beat him 3 times. See what I'm saying? Spurs beat him two times. 2 times. So he beat the Spurs once. So a lot of these, to your point, Carl, to your question of does it have to be a back and forth? Like you can't say the Warriors are a rival because that's food. That ain't no rivalry. If they're winning 3 out of 4 championships, that's not a rivalry. So I'm with Ray, man. That's phenomenal. It's the narrative. He's been fighting his whole career, and I believe 100% that's why he went to Miami initially, because the narrative was, you get a lot of numbers, but where are the chips at? And so it was like, I got to change this narrative. Let me go to Miami, get the quick chips.
And then
he wasn't winning that in Cleveland at all. To be
It's
honest,
not true. First of all,
he was not going to win in Cleveland.
we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Let's
Listen,
all right, we're going to do it. All right, so cool.
Oh
We're
my
gonna do this.
God!
We're
Oh my
not doing
God!
it.
Randy,
We're
why,
gonna
bro?
do it. We're gonna do it.
Why?
We're gonna do it.
Why?
We're
Oh
gonna do
my
it.
God!
Yo, listen.
Oh,
Yo,
God.
listen. Real
The
quick.
Bulls would've
I'm not
won
gonna
during
be too
that time.
long-winded, Carl. You know how I do. I'm not gonna be too long-winded.
It's almost
But
time for
guys,
the kids, Mike. It's 7 o'clock your time.
I'm gonna be real quick. Guys, stop. Randy, stop. He had a chance. Yo, listen. Nobody thought Kobe. Who really thought Kobe was gonna win chips with Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum? Yo, listen. Great players do great. Of course
Thank
you
you.
did, because you
Thank you.
understand, Ray. Great players do great things. That's why.
I did.
LeBron was on the cusp of winning a chip. He decided to fast forward.
No, but Cleveland.
Listen, I
Yo,
will
if
say
You
this
go win
though:
66
bro.
games
Yeah.
with that team in the East. You could have scored. You might not have had a dynasty, but he could squeeze the chip
2010
out.
was the
Of
year.
course.
Again, our team was beat up in 2010, and
old.
yeah,
And
we were
old.
Yeah, and we
So,
ran them. Yeah,
so
we
this
did.
idea that there was
Yeah.
some juggernaut in the East, stop it. Why you think he went 8 straight years going to the finals? There was no juggernauts in the East. The Celtics was a one-hit wonder. Other than that, Detroit
Damn,
was
that
old.
hurt.
There
That hurt my
was no-
feelings a little bit.
Sorry,
Shit.
sorry, man. But look, the Celtics were one-hit wonder. Detroit was old. Who else was his competition?
The West.
So he could have won a chip, man. He like Ray said, narrative control was LeBron's rivalry. He'd been fighting that rival the whole time.
You
I
telling
wonder
me
what's
that the Cavs couldn't beat OKC? This
Come on, talk to me.
young
Why not?
OKC that folded in the finals. Like, come on, bro.